I remember when I was a teenager, there was a certain period of time where one thing that went around at all times was Catching Fire, the movie. That was my first introduction to this series, because then when I talked to my brother about it, I came to know that it is a book series, and at that time I did not read books, so I really did not know what the hype is about, what is going on. But my brother was quite excited, and I cannot believe that I actually missed the opportunity to be the part of the hype because I was not a reader. But I am now here to rectify that mistake, because in today's video I'm going to be reading the Hunger Games Trilogy as a 25-year-old. Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Hi, if you're new, welcome to the channel. I really hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, please do consider subscribing. I understand the hype being real, what, around 10 years ago or 12 years ago? Actually, I don't know how many years, but now is the hype still valid? I just want to see it for myself. Plus, I do actually just want to read the entire series and see what my experience is like. It's a classic. I need to read it. When I say it's a classic, it's not actually a classic, but it's one of the OG series that you need to read. So I'm so excited to start reading these books, starting with the Hunger Games, the first book in the series. And all I know right now is there are games that are being played, and our main character has gone to play that game, and I'm pretty sure that the game is Hunger Games. That is all I know about this book, and now I'm getting into it, so I'm so excited to see where the story goes, why she's going to play a game like this, and what is this may the odds always be in your favor. I really want to know that. Look, okay, like I am just like so distracted by my copy of Hunger Games. Every time I have to talk about it, I actually got it from a sale that was happening in Ahmedabad last year in August, and I got this book and I got the third book. I was waiting for the second book to arrive so I can actually start with a reading vlog, and then my dad gifted me the second book, and that's why I'm starting this reading vlog instantly right after getting the second book. But the point to note here is that I don't generally just buy different variations of different books because I like them to match together. But when I was in that sale and I saw this copy, I just couldn't stop myself, and I just knew that once I have read the book, it will be something like, it will be a prized possession for me. Like, look at that engravation. I think that's what it's called. It's literally gorgeous. I started reading the book last night, and I have already finished the first part of the book, which is called The Trials. I am about to start with the second part, which is called The Game, because I just thought that I will read the first 50 pages because I like to read the first few pages before I start a vlog so that I can give my first impression of the book. But as soon as I started reading, literally from the first chapter, the beginning of the second chapter, right off the bat, got me hooked. Now that I have been reading a few series, especially in fantasy, I know that I have to give the story a little bit of time to breathe so that it can build up the world. Then I can get hooked to the story. With this one also, I was like, let me just give it time to breathe. Literally the ending of first chapter and the beginning of second chapter, I was gasping. The second chapter literally sent chills down my body. The second chapter. I know I'm emphasizing this a lot, but it's very hard for books to just grasp me like that from first or second chapter. Some of my favorite books don't have such gripping first or second chapters. The build-up of the book is not done with a lot of info dumping as to, oh, this happens, that happens. There are facts here and there, and then these characters are just going about their life, and it feels like we just entered their world somewhere in the middle. They are going about their time. They are not going to pause to tell us what is going on. They are just living their life. And there are these subtle nuances in the way that they are behaving, and you're just seeing them, observing them as a reader, and you know exactly how they must be behaving before this, after this, so you get an idea of what the character is like. For example, I cannot afford to get upset, to leave this room with puffy eyes and a red nose. Crying is not an option. There will be more cameras at the train station. This is what Katniss is saying when she has to leave her hometown, but you can see how she does feel emotional, but she likes to have a wall, and she doesn't really like to let people get in and see how she's actually feeling. Another point where Katniss is talking about her father and how her father gave her her name and how they used to hunt together. All of those things just show how emotional Katniss is. But then there are so many instances where you're like, where you know that she likes to keep her boundaries straight and built up. Then we have the first meeting of Peeta and Katniss, which yet again, it came on so early. It was beautiful. I could feel everything. I have imagined the entire scenario beautifully in my head, and I am so excited to also watch the movie to see if it is actually like what I imagined or not, because it's written so nicely and it's so easy for me to imagine everything that is going on. There's a part where suddenly he lashes out at the glass in Hamit's hand. It shatters on the floor, sending the blooded liquid running towards the back of the train, only not to us. Hamit considers this a moment, then punches Peta on the jaw, knocking from his chair. Blah 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 blah. I drive my knife into the table between his hand and the bottle, barely missing his fingers. And then Hamit says, did I actually get a pair of fighters this year? And this entire scene is so short, but I know what Peta is like. I know the sort of chemistry that Peta and Katniss can have. I know what Hamit is like. There are places where Katniss wants to trust Peta, but she is telling herself, no, it's not possible. And seeing all of these things is just making me understand these characters so well. As Cinna turns the doorknob, I stop his hand. Cinna, I completely overcome with stage fright. Remember, they already love you, he says gently. Just be yourself. And I literally don't know Cinna at all. He's not been built up at all. I think it took like a paragraph or two to build up the character, but I already know their dynamic, Cinna's and Katniss's dynamic. So just these subtle things happening is making me understand exactly what their dynamic is, what the characters are like, and I am obsessed with that writing style where I don't have to use my brain, but somehow I'm able to imagine everything so beautifully. I'm able to understand the dynamic so easily. It's all so good, and then I got so hooked that I just couldn't stop myself, and I read till the second part of the book. The underdog element that the book has, because they're generally people you don't root for and they're the underdogs, but the way that they are behaving, it's so different from being underdogs, and that just adds so much fire to the story. Apart from that, there's so much more going on, but I'll just talk about that later once it develops more. For now, this is my first impression. These are my thoughts. It was actually very hard for me to keep the book yesterday after reading the first part, because the way it ended, it was insane, the trial. So now I cannot wait to actually start reading the second part. Let's go. I am so obsessed with this bookmark. By the way, the gold and the pink just look so pretty. Let's go. I can't believe Peta did that towards the end of the first part. Cinna and Katniss are like, there are so many subtle underlying just like one sentences that shows you how unfair the world that they are in is. Oh my god. I know exactly what is going to happen here. It's with one of the volunteers. Don't do it. Don't do this to me. Oh my god. I'm gonna cry. Just knew it. I literally knew it. And I think I'm still gonna cry. Sing. Was that? Stop reading here on the third part for now because I have stuff to do. But what was that? One thing that I knew was going to happen happened, and I'm pretty sure anybody who was reading the book would know that it would happen, but that did not fail. But that does not mean I do not have goosebumps all over my body right now and tears stuck. Here, I am obsessed with the character of Katniss, and I am pretty sure some people will not like her. I just love how she does what has to be done. I just get so annoyed by main characters, especially in fantasy, who they know what they should be doing, but they get so righteous and they don't do it. But some situations you need to be quick, and Katniss is quick. She reacts and she acts well, and I love that. She has this ruthlessness to her, which you need in books like this, and she has it, and I love that. There's this another situation somewhere in a cool and spotless room. A game maker sits and at a set of controls, fingers on the triggers, and could end my life in a second. That is so subtle, but again, it's brilliant. I'm going to take a break for now, do the other things that I have to do, and I'll probably read the rest of the book at night. Hi you guys. Can you even see me? Finished reading Hunger Games, started reading Catching Fire. Also changed the bookmark. This is the bookmark that I'm using in this, and I have so many thoughts. I couldn't help myself, and I actually watched the movie also last night once I got done reading the book, and that was just totally totally insane. I just actually cannot believe that was the first book, and I sort of understood the direction in which the second book can go, and the book, I think, set up the second book perfectly while also leaving a lot of things completely unpredictable as to where the series is going to go, like what exactly is going to happen. It was totally mind-blowing. I cannot believe this was the first book. It hooked me like crazy and I am obsessed with it. I actually cannot imagine what this book would do to like my, I don't know, when did you read the book, for example? Like, how old were you? Because I think as a teenager, my brother read it when he was 14 or 15 or 13, something like that. If I read it at that time, my mind would literally be blown. But on the other hand, I think that because I'm an adult, I can see a lot of read between the lines things in this. I have not seen any reviews or vlogs of anybody reading this book. I just know that a lot of people read it when they are teenagers. So I really do want to see if it's just me reading between the lines and with all these subtle nuances. If I read this as a teenager, maybe it wouldn't hit me like that. Like, I wouldn't be able to see the subtle nuances as a teenager. The ideal situation would be that I read this as a teenager, it blowed my mind, and then I read it as an adult and then it blowed my mind again. I am very grateful for the experience that I'm having right now, because this is actually gold. And yeah, I'm actually really happy that I have this copy, because this book is gold and I'm so happy that it looks like that. I actually really hope to God that I get the other two copies in this edition somewhere. After that last night, I actually couldn't stop myself from just jumping ahead to the second book, because literally, did you see how the first book ended? And I watched the movie. I have a whole other video planned for that, like a book versus movie, so I'll give my thoughts more on that. But I do think that the movie did the book justice, because there are so many things that I was able to see in the exact way that I imagined it, and so it really solidified the entire book in my mind beautifully after watching the movie. And then I was like so excited to read the second, like so excited, and even more than that, like watch the second movie, because everybody also says this is the best book and it's the best movie, and I actually could not wait. So I did start reading the book. I stopped on page 90. I have a few more pages to go, I think, for the first part to get over, and I cannot believe that right off the bat, the book started, like the first page, and I was like, whoa. The one unexpected thing happened. Also, there were a few differences with President Snow as the character in the first book and the first movie, but because I have watched the movie, reading it in the book, and his character is just hitting a little different than I think it would if I just read the book. The second chapter, absolute sinister. I could feel how Katniss is feeling, and I just got my pen out and I have underlined so many things. The whole convince me thing, oh my god. I mean, it's all out of context, so it's not spoilers at all, but oh my god. In that one slight motion, I see the end of hope, the beginning of the destruction of everything I hold dear in the world. And if you've read the book, you know what that moment is, and I'm just flabbergasted. It has taken turns that I did not expect it to take. I love how the romance in the book is not a different, like, it's not a subplot. It is a subplot, but it is so essential to the story of the book, to the plot of the book, because if that romance did not exist, the story wouldn't exist, the plot wouldn't exist. And that is amazing, because sometimes, like, the romance is so removed from the entire situation that you're just like, it's just something going on the side that has no relationship. Like, even with Six of Crows, it was so removed from the plot of the book. It was like a total side thing going on, but in this one it's essential to the story, to the politics of the book, and I find that very interesting how they're interlaced together. So yes, I'm enjoying this book. I really do want it to be the best book, but I'm actually going to go make coffee and sit and start reading this book. Hopefully I get the whole day to read the book, because I sort of scheduled my day like that, because I just knew that if I am reading this, I will not want to stop. How adorable is Peta? Literally. From the bag I pulled 2 fresh buns with a layer of cheese baked into the top. We always seem to have a supply of these since Peter found out they were my favorite. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Halfway through the book and this, are you kidding? I have goosebumps right now. I actually have goosebumps. Somebody's at the door. Is this actually happening? This is not the turn I thought this book would take. Not at all. I just underlined the whole thing. Just look at that. Look at that. This is insane. Literally insane. You could live 100 lifetimes and not deserve him, you know. I'm getting annoyed by Katniss when it comes to Peeta and Gale, honestly. Like, seriously, what's going on? I don't like it. She needs to get a grip there. Cinna rocks. I love Cinna. Cinna, I think, is my favorite. Yeah, he is my favorite side character. I like Haymitch also, but Cinna is just awesome. I'm still betting on you. What just happened? This is no place for a girl. What just happened? I really should shower. I've not showered yet, but I actually cannot stop right now because of what just happened. No, shut up. This is not happening. I actually will stop reading the book right now if this happens. I'm literally sweating right now. This book is just giving me so much. I don't know what is going on. Brutal, literally brutal. Now, last few pages, what is going on? No, how is this happening right now? I cannot believe this is actually happening. Done with the book. Mind you, woke up, picked this book up. I have not eaten, I've not showered, I've done nothing except sit and binge this book. And I have, the thing is that you would think that after reading this book the whole day and doing nothing else, I would want to like take a break from reading, but no. I'm actually just going to shower and eat right now because that is important. But after that, I'm going to dive right into Mockingjay. What was that ending? Also, now I get to watch the movie. I actually get to watch the movie. It's the next day. I needed a day to process what I have read in the book. Also, last night I actually sat and there were so many parts that I wanted to underline even more so that I remembered all of those things. Also, one of the good things that I thought about this entire series, which is completely mismatched, is that these are the first copies that I will have read, and that is what is making them special. After putting all of the lines in that I wanted to underline and just sort of literally revisiting this entire book, I realized this book actually twists. Oh my god, is there a lizard in my room? Oh my god! What's up? That was scary. I finished reading this and revisiting everything just made me realize how this book literally got me twisted in knots yesterday. Oh my god, like I'm actually looking back at the experience now, even though it's just been one day. And oh my god, the way I was feeling yesterday, and my eyes were glued to the page, and then I was just like reading so fast, but I was also not missing any information, and just all of that together, oh my god, it was literally crazy. There are so many plot twists. Even if it's not a thriller, there's just so much happening. You just get a little bit of breathing time and then so much more happens. Till now, this is my favorite book. Also, because I did start reading Mockingjay yesterday, I don't have a bookmark in this because I just forgot, but I am almost halfway. No, yeah, how much is this? Okay, this is not halfway through. I did finish part 1. I'm reading the book in parts whenever I can. So I finished part 1. This one has sort of really shifted its tone. It makes sense because of the ending of this book, so I totally get it. But on the other hand, if only the story was slow, that would be different. But the tone is totally different. It doesn't feel like the 2 other books in this series, but I think that it was the build-up going on. Yeah, this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. I think when I started reading the first book, that you need to give the book time to breathe. So I think that this one I have to give it time to breathe because it's breathing till now, but now the second part has started, and I think now all of the cool things will happen in this book. I loved the turns that the story took. There was not one turn which I was like, maybe this shouldn't have happened. And a couple of new characters that were added, the side characters, they were also very adorable, and it was, I think, the most devastating book. Done with this one. Now let's see where the story goes, because literally the ending of this book, cray. Did not think that the story will take such a turn. I am done with the series. I actually finished reading Mockingjay this morning. I haven't vlogged anything because every time I thought of picking up the book and vlogging, I only had one remark to give, and that is that this was so different from the first 2 books that I have read, and I think that was also my first impression of the book. And then it kept taking twists and turns just like the first 2 books, so that was interesting, but in a very slow-paced manner, firstly. Secondly, some of the side characters that were added to the book, I did not really enjoy them. The one thing that literally struck my heart like a lightning was Peeta and Katniss. Actually, not even Peeta and Katniss, just Peeta. What happened? Oh my god, like that was the one thing that has struck me so hard. When it comes to the ending of the entire series, was I satisfied? A little bit, but there is a certain what is it called? Detour. There was a certain detour taken, which I think was a little bit unnecessary. It would have been a very satisfying ending regardless. And secondly, something really horrible happened. I am just like, why did that happen too? But then on the other hand, I'm like, did the author not want that? Like, what was that her purpose? That it's not always pretty and not all loose ends are tied up in a neat bow. Was that what the author was going for? So that is my final review. I am done with this entire series, and now as a 25-year-old, I just want to say that I had the best freaking time reading this series, and I really don't know how teenagers were reading books like this. Okay, I am actually like flabbergasted. If I read this as a teenager, I know for a fact that my life would be consumed completely by these books. Like, I would want to be Katniss every single day. Now as a 25-year-old, I think the same thing is going to happen. That was my experience. I also do want to say, I think that there's so much to discuss about these books with people who have already read the book, and I really do want to talk about these things because my reactions in this video, they're so muted. Like, I've not talked about anything because I don't want to give any spoilers. So I do want to make another video which is going to be filled with spoilers. So if you've already read the book, look forward to that. That also must be coming your way. Movies versus books video also is coming your way, so stay tuned for all the Hunger Games content. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.